The red door. The house at the end of Blackwood Lane had been abandoned for decades. No one went near it. Not after the murders. Not after the police found the walls painted in blood, the bodies mutilated beyond recognition. Karma. And not after the last detective to investigate walked inside and never walked out. The return. 50 years later, Detective Erin Mallory stood in front of the house, gripping her flashlight. Karma. It was supposed to be empty, but earlier that night, a 911 call had come in. A child's voice, barely above a whisper. "He's back." Then static. The dispatcher traced the call to this house. The house that hadn't had a living resident in half a century. Erin exhaled, gripping her gun. Then she stepped inside. The first room. The air was thick with the scent of decay. Dust covered everything. Furniture draped in sheets. The floorboards warped with time. But there were footsteps in the dust. Small ones, leading deeper inside. Her radio crackled. Static, then whispering. A child's voice. "He's watching." Erin froze. Then she heard it. A sound from upstairs. A slow creaking, like someone was rocking back and forth in an old wooden chair. She gritted her teeth and followed the footsteps. The red door. At the end of the hall stood a single door. Unlike the others, this one was different. Deep red, its paint old, but untouched by dust. A single handprint was smeared on it. Small, a child's. Then, a knock. From the inside. Erin raised her gun. Police. Silence. Then, the door creaked open. The room beyond was pitch black, and in the center, a chair, and sitting in it, a boy. Small, thin, face pale, eyes too wide. He didn't move, didn't blink, just stared at her. Karma. Then, he whispered, "He doesn't like the light." The bulb above shattered. Darkness swallowed the room, and something moved in it. The shadow in the dark. Erin backed away, heart hammering. A shape rose from the darkness behind the boy. Tall, twisted, too many limbs. Its fingers, long and skeletal, rested gently on the child's shoulders. It had no eyes, but she knew it was looking at her. The boy's voice was barely a whisper. "Run." The thing lunged. Erin fired, but it was already behind her, its breath cold against her neck, its fingers wrapped around her wrist. It leaned in, its voice inside her skull. "The door is open now." Pain exploded in her mind. Then, darkness. The next day, they found Erin Mallory in the house, sitting in the same chair. Her eyes were gone, her mouth stitched into a smile, and in the dust at her feet, a trail of small footprints led back to the red door. It was closed now, waiting for the next one.